Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. We are extremely excited today to have Mindy Morales with us. She is the owner and the CEO of Barron Jewelers, located in Grayslake, Illinois, and has been in the jeweler business since she was 8 years old. A true expert. You heard her right, 8 years old. She opened up Barron Jewelers in 2008 with her husband, Mario, to serve a much-needed niche in northern Illinois for a hometown jeweler that focused on exceptional attention to service and detail. Mindy, I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you for letting me on your show.
Absolutely. Glad to have you. Why don't we just jump right into it? Tell us a little bit about Barron Jewelers and how you are helping your customers.
Barron Jewelers has been around for 12 years, and we're in Grayslake, and we've been offering great service to a community that has always needed a jewelry store in this area. Since we've been in business and I've been in the industry for so many years, I have a lot to offer, and especially just having one-on-one contact with people of what their needs and questions, just to answer their questions. So we're always here for them anytime they need any service.
That's great. Tell me more about that. Why is that so important in your industry?
I think customer service has really been something that is needed in every industry. But this industry in particular, because of every piece that is bought is a personal piece. And it should be treated that way. And it's just not like, well, it just came in and out, and that's insignificant. So for us to put that quality of service to our customers that they need, and they know that somebody will take care of them and will look upon their pieces as much love as they have.
That's fantastic. I can hear your passion. As I understand it, you're a second-generation jeweler, correct?
Yes. Since 8 years old, I've been in the industry, and I've been in and out of the many different facets of what it has to do with jewelry, watches, gems, diamonds. I've always been looking upon through the eyes of jewelers and through the eyes of customers.
That's great. So how does one get into the jewelry business at 8 years old? That's amazing to me.
It's usually through family. Yeah, my parents decided to open up a store, and so I was always with them at their side. They traveled, I was with them. If they went to any convention or they had to deal with a customer or with a vendor, I was there. So I would listen to conversations. People would teach me, and they looked upon me like that little rough gem so that I would grow up to be in this business, and I didn't think it would happen. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is why I've been taught this. And with that came the love of being with customers, the love of producing different things and selling something that would be so special for a person. I love seeing people and their faces when they light up, and it brings a great joy to myself. So why not do something that brings you joy?
Absolutely. You know, they say if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, and I think that adage is very true.
Exactly, and I completely agree with that.
Well, that's wonderful. And I know one of the things that you love to do is to help couples that are getting married find that perfect engagement ring. So tell me, what are some of the advantages of having an independent jeweler like yourselves help find the perfect engagement ring for couples that are planning on getting married?
What makes a big difference in between an independent and everyone else, be it the web or big box, is we actually look upon what the customer really, really is looking for, be it from the beginning, the style, the design. Sometimes they bring in grandma's or mom's ring, and they want to make it their own engagement ring. So I understand what they want, and we just redo the whole ring, and it's theirs then. It's their personal ring. Or we can help them with the cost. What are you looking for? And if the cost is very significant to you, okay, no problem, then let's go by that. So we can help in that way because we really get into every little detail of the process. And we listen, and we make sure that that's what they receive from us. And later on in the future, we know what they have purchased and what it needs to be fixed or to be taken care of.
That makes a lot of sense. You really get to know your customers intimately because this is a big moment in their life, a big milestone that they're doing by getting married and getting engaged. And so you're really getting to know them and really helping them to make that engagement ring almost an extension of who they are. Would that be a correct statement?
Exactly.
That's great. What do you think are some of the biggest myths out there when it comes to finding the perfect engagement ring? Some
people believe that they need to buy a huge diamond, 2, 3, 5 carat, or it has to be perfection. I don't believe that. And I explain to customers, it's really what brings you to attract you to that diamond. It doesn't have to be the size. The quality and the color is really what makes a big difference in a diamond. And then whatever you can afford or the price that you're looking for, it can be done. But you don't need to get into debt. For a diamond, it's not worth something to get into debt for, because it should be something that you buy and you have it and it's done and on to the next stage of your life. But it's a beautiful piece and it's a beautiful diamond that you fall in love with.
Makes sense. So you don't really need to have a giant, 2 carat, 3 carat, whatever stone on your finger to make it unique and make it, that perfect expression of love that the couple kind of representing with the ring. So you help them find that perfect piece no matter what it is.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. So what would you say are some of the common misconceptions that couples getting married have about finding the perfect engagement ring, or the jewelry industry in general?
You should be able to take your time and look for something that is either something that you can work with and you can use for every day. Because a lot of people will think that they need a lot of little diamonds on the sides or a lot of this and that. If you're going to wear it every day, then you should have something that should work with you and not against you, because you'll be having problems that it gets caught or whatever. Well, and the misconceptions with the industry is there's so many. There's, first of all, the whole thing of the price. Like I had said before, you don't need to get into the debt. I see a lot of people come in, men come in, women come in, and they're like, I don't know what to do. This is going to cost about $10,000, $20,000. Like, no, you don't need that. You need something that's just beautiful, and that should fulfill everything.
That makes sense. And it's interesting you say that, because I know that obviously, when you're getting ready to get engaged and get married, and there's a lot of unknowns, a lot of factors, nervousness, even fears that people go through. So what would you say are some of the common fears that finding the perfect engagement ring sometimes brings up in your customers?
Not knowing what style. Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing of style, of color? And I tell a lot of people that come in to look for an engagement ring, Pinterest will be your best friend.
Really interesting.
Pinterest will be your best friend. And usually women and men, women have Pinterest, and they will tell you, it tells you everything. They usually have a little section where they've pinned different rings that they really love. And I ask, Kate, show me her Pinterest. Okay, we get an idea and of the style. So it kind of breaks down their fear. Am I doing the right thing? And I point out, do you see the same similarities here and there? Oh, yes. Okay, well then, this is what she's really looking for. The other thing is men, a lot of times, they're worried about the information. There's so much information out there that it just gets all wrapped up into one big ball and they have no idea where to go. And so I just break everything down and I tell them, what do you know? And I specify everything that they know and I tell them, this is really what you need to look for. And that always helps.
That makes sense. So do you find that you hear, especially engagement rings, the 4 C's are so important? Do you find that, misinformation out there brings up a lot of those fears for the customers to find that ring?
Yes, it does. The 4 C's, it's a great information to know, but a lot of times they don't know what is the most important. And they think that you have to have all 4 to be a perfect diamond. And no, it's just a guide. It's a guide that you need just to get an idea. But once you see that diamond that is in front of you, and that's what I tell a lot of people, just don't go by a website and look at a diamond. It's not like looking at it. I like calling it the looking and touching of a diamond is the most beautiful thing, because you look at it and you see it and you touch it and, oh, okay. And it's nothing like having something in a website. You can't do that. So it makes a big difference. Mm-hmm.
So you actually help them get past those fears?
Yes, I do. Anytime they have questions, even after the fact they've come in and asked, or during the process of getting a diamond or starting the engagement ring, I tell them, just call me anytime, text me. I even have people texting me. If you have a question, if you have something that just popped in your head, do that. I don't want you to be afraid of any of this.
That's great. You don't get that kind of service from the big box stores or the internet, that's for sure. Text the owner. We'll answer all questions anytime. That's phenomenal.
Yes, and I enjoy it because I know that we're both thinking of each other and we're going to get to the final destination of this process of finding the perfect engagement ring. And that's very important for both of us.
That's wonderful. I love to hear that passion. Something that I think is missing a lot in small business America today is that passion, and you definitely have that. It comes through with full colors. What would you say are some of the other perceived obstacles that you see that might be preventing couples that are getting married from seeking help from a jeweler?
I think it's just the bottom line is the fear of going into a jewelry store. Jewelry stores can be a little scary for some people. They feel like, what do we do? What do we ask? And how do we go about this? Or are we in the wrong place? And I tell them, don't be afraid. I'm not here to judge anyone and to say, I know that they're going to spend or they're not going to spend. No, walk in. Walk into a jewelry store, ask a simple question. That's all it is. And I think the bottom line is just the whole being open with people and customers, and for the customer to feel at ease. That is the best thing, is to conquer that.
That is great. So what would you say are some of the little-known pitfalls or maybe some common mistakes you see couples getting married make on the road to finding their perfect engagement ring?
Well, sometimes what they have is if they're too close to the date, then they're limiting themselves. I tell people, if you can start looking for your engagement ring or wedding ring at least 3 or 4 months before, you have enough time to either order a special one, have a special order made for you, and you'll get the perfect ring that you want.
That's wonderful. So you actually can make custom rings there at your location. Is that correct?
Yes, we can. We do some beautiful pieces, and we'll either go by what the customer has been looking for or desiring, or we come up with an idea together. I don't think that I should be the one that, or my jeweler should be the one that designs the ring completely, because it should have some input from the customer. So I always say, let's do it together. Let's do something. And it always comes out to be a beautiful piece.
That's wonderful. So can you share an example of helping one of your customers create that perfect piece?
The one that I remember doing, and I've done this for many people, is I love the ones that come in with their grandparents, their grandmother's ring. 2 ways we can do that. One, either we take the engagement ring and they want to keep it the way it is, but they just want to refurbish it a little bit. So we do. We refurbish, a little crack, every little missing part, diamond or whatever, we fill it in, we put it in, and we polish it up. If we need to add more gold, we do. If the ring cannot be used because it has so many imperfections already, because of the years of being used, it can be duplicated using the same gold and the same diamonds. So everything your grandmother or mother had in that ring will be used and will be on your finger. We will add a little bit more if we need to. And when they get that ring back, it's just like the day that grandma or mother had received it.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's special. How do you even go to explain something like that when you have something that's been like a family heirloom for so long that gets continued, passed down to the generations like that? That's phenomenal.
Exactly.
So tell us, what inspired you to become a jeweler? Was it just because it was a family business, or was there other aspects to it that made you want to be the expert jeweler that you are?
Well, it was mostly the family business. That's what did get me into the whole aspect of it. But the other thing is, one thing that I realized when I was that little child growing up in the business is I wanted warmth for my business. While I was at my parents', I would always give that warmth to my customers, because I felt like when you go to a big box store, it always feels you don't have that personal feel to it. Like, oh, I feel comfortable here. I can do it, I can look around, nobody will question anything, and I can have my time. No problem. So I would do the same. I would do the same here, what I did when I was younger at my parents' store. And people really liked that. And right away when I thought, well, you know what, if I open up a store, I can do more than what I was doing at my parents'. And I can add that little extra touch. So right away, when we decided to open the store, I'm like, yes, let's do that. You know what? I think that there's something missing in the industry, and I think I can solve it. With other jewelers, we can solve this problem of not being a comfort zone for customers to come in and ask and look around.
Absolutely. And get that personalized touch, which makes things just so much more magical. I mean, you're creating a magic moment for them. They're creating magic moments, and so you're doing it together and helping it make it even better. So that's fantastic. Can you share any other lessons maybe you learned early on that still impacts how you do business today?
I think it's more the information. Information is so important, and of course, we can get that anywhere now. But I think the little information of how and where and what I suggest to you, that is very important. And people are more open to wanting to hear your opinion as an expert than I just want this done. So I think that makes a big difference.
Oh, absolutely it does. That's fantastic. With all those decades of experience that you bring to the table as an expert, what would you say is the most important question couples that are getting married should be asking themselves as they're considering finding the perfect engagement ring?
I think it's mostly the budget. The budget and the two things, budget and the design. What would she like? What would she be comfortable with to wear every single day? Depending on what she does in her work, be it a nurse, a teacher, or does she, sit behind a desk? So what is more comfortable for her to wear so it doesn't get in her way of everyday life?
That makes sense. And then what would you say is the most important thing couples that are getting married should consider when they're evaluating a jeweler of where they're going to get this perfect engagement ring?
First of all, how many years and the reputation of the service they've given. Also, will they be there for them now and later on with any question, with anything they need, any service they need on their ring? That is one of the things that I think is very important that people have to look upon.
That's great. Well, Mindy, you've shared a lot of fantastic nuggets here, and I really appreciate that. So how can someone find out more about Barron Jewelers and find out more about Mindy Morales and how you can help them?
Our website, barronjewelers.com, and you can email me anytime you'd like, mindy@barronjewelers.com, and I will answer any questions. My phone number is also available to anyone that wants to call and ask a question, 847-752-7030.
Wonderful. Well, Mindy, thank you so much. You've definitely really enlightened a lot of our listeners today on finding that perfect engagement ring, and I really appreciate you sharing your expertise, wisdom, and knowledge with us today.
Thank you.
Awesome. And thank you again for being on the show and taking the time, and I'm sure we'll be talking again soon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it, folks. We appreciate your time, appreciate you listening in, and we'll see you next time on The Inside Track.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.